Welcome back to the channel. Please respect my decision. So, the first domino has fallen. Now, obviously, of course, regardless of how locked in said recruits are going to be, at the end of the day, you know, you can sell them whatever you want to sell, but you do have to try to make some steady progress throughout the year, which is something that we just seem to not have done. However, I was listening to Footballville this morning because I think they were one of the first to actually break the news, but I was listening to it, not live, I was listening to it back on a replay. And he just broke it down. He was just like, listen, man, you know, kids are committing with the NIL right now. They're committing and they're decommitting because they're figuring things out. They're figuring out some parents are not allowing for their children to necessarily be taken advantage of. They're trying to maximize value. And with this kind of being a new market, it has not necessarily settled in on what you should as a business. I'm not gonna speak about it from the school perspective. I'm gonna speak about it from what they say NIL is supposed to be. So parents, as well as whoever are their legal representation, are looking around, shopping around to see which businesses in certain areas are providing the best opportunities for their children to get maximum exposure, to build brands and things of that particular nature. Now, so, of course, this is Josh Gattis' fault, right? It's Josh Gattis' fault. But, again, we can lump as much dirt on Josh Gattis as we want to. But at the end of the day, when is Frank Ponce going to take some blame in this? Frank Ponce is the quarterback coach. Frank Ponce is supposed to be the person that is supposed to be Josh Gattis' eyes towards the quarterbacks, where he relays back to Josh, hey, these particular plays right here, this is what each quarterback is strong with. But yet, at no point throughout this entire season have we seen a quarterback look prepared to play a game. So again, going back to what Streeter said off Canesville, we don't know why kids are decommitting, especially in this new era. But let's take it back to what it was pre-NIL. Relationships mean something. Players want to go somewhere where they feel like they're going to be developed as a player. So if you're a quarterback and Frank Ponce is the quarterback coach, and if I'm watching every single game and in no game this year, regardless of the play calls, because yes, Josh Gattis, you deserve 1,000% responsibility for us not being able to score a touchdown in 3 total games this year and 9 quarters consecutively. You do deserve that. You do deserve that. You do deserve that we potentially would not necessarily land one of these big fish receivers, right? So I'm going to give you that blame. But getting back over here, going back to pre-NIL, if you're a quarterback prospect, Jaden Rashada, top 5 at your entire position, what have I seen from the quarterbacks this year that would make me feel like Frank Ponce is going to put me in the best situation to succeed? What? What is it? I mean, was it? Are you going to go back and say, well, look what he did for Chase Bryce at, you know, App State? Well, Chase Bryce was a good enough prospect to go to the University of Clemson. So obviously there was some talent there. And so sometimes guys have talent, but that talent is not able to actually magnify itself unless they drop down to a lower level of competition, which is why in certain aspects, NFL scouts and things, they only are concerned about that game where you played that Power 5 team. How did you look? Because this is what you're going to face at the NFL. So if you're just running through what they may feel is a, you know, mid-major conference, one that is not chock full of NFL players, you can look good over there. But what did you do in that game where we're going to draw the most tape from? What did you do in that game? So again, you take that for what it's worth, right? Frank Ponce is his primary recruiter. What was Frank Ponce telling Jaden Rashada? What are you saying? I mean, what can you tell me? Because if I'm watching the University of Miami, right, and because regardless from coast to coast, you had to see Tyler Van Dyke. You had to see him. I don't know the proximity between what Jaden Rashada was and Jake Garcia was, but I'm sure that probably was a big story. It had to be. And so if I'm looking at this and I see one quarterback who was at the conclusion of last season a top 10, 5 quarterback at the conclusion of last year, and he's not looking like anything this year, and then I see Jake Garcia, who left California, went to Georgia, won a state championship, during that particular tenure, and he don't look like anything, what am I supposed to think? You're coaching these guys. They have regressed on your watch. Now, again, I don't know why he decommitted. We can blame Josh Gattis. Yes, Josh Gattis. The plays, they don't seem to fit. But who was working with the quarterbacks to try to help put this game plan together? Frank Punch, you're the primary recruiter. So I'm not giving Josh Gattis 100% fault on this. I'm not. I'm actually going to give Frank Punch the majority of the scrutiny in this particular situation, right? That's just what it is, right? Now, with that being said, let's get to us, the fans. Like clockwork. I could have set a timer. I could have set a timer and said, how long is it going to be before someone says, well, I think Emory Williams looks better. I think Emory Williams is a better player. Let's break this down. Not too long ago, there were topics brought up about how long is it going to be before Emory Williams decommits. How long is it going to be? You got Jaden Rashada, you got Ja'Cory Brown, you got Jake, you got Tyler Van Dyke. How long is it going to be until Emory Williams runs from the competition? Now Jaden Rashada is running from competition. That's the other one. And y'all said that Emory Williams looked better at Elite 11. Let me ask y'all a question. Now, I know that there are a lot of laws and a lot of parents who are on committees for the safety of young players. So they're trying to get players maybe to play, flag football up into a certain age and then integrate them into shoulder pads and helmets and things like that. And there's a lot of, talk about people trying to reduce the violence in football, which, I don't know how you can do that. But once you get to high school, college, and NFL, the game is played in pads. I don't care how you look with your shirt and your T-shirt on. I'm going to tell you what. Personal story. I looked very good with shorts and T-shirts on. I looked very good. I looked it like a 5-star player with shorts and T-shirts on. So now, seeing as that the game is played in pads, who looks better with pads on? That's the question. Who looks better with pads on? I don't care about shorts and T-shirts. And this is not a attack on Emory Williams by any stretch of the imagination. And at the same time, this is not a upliftment of Jaden Rashada. Because at the end of the day, if you are that guy, you should look exceptionally well with pads on. Right? But again, we got to understand human nature. You may go to a particular place and you say, look, man, I'm made. They know me. I'm not here to prove anything. My ranking is not going to change. Whereas on the other hand, you have a guy like Emory Williams may come in and say, listen, they probably didn't think I was going to be here, so I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to do that. And at the same time, like I said, even if these guys are competing at this position, they still have a high school team they got to go back to. So if I'm out here at the Elite 11 and I'm out here throwing, what if I throw my shoulder out and ruin my whole senior year? Think about things like this, man. Just think about that. What if I go out here and I'm performing and I tear something and my season is down the drain? I'm not necessarily going to push it. Whereas the underdog, he's going to work. He's going to get it. He's going to say, listen, man, they didn't think I was going to be here. Let me grind this out. Let me make a name for myself. And that's what Emory Williams was able to do. But like I said, the pads are on. Who is the better quarterback? Who looks better with pads on? Who looks better? You know? Respect my decision. Respect my decision. But with that said, man, listen. Likes, share, subscribe. It's all about the you, baby. Even if you decommit, it's still all about the you.